Hello to everyone watching me on YouTube and to the 2 people that are right now in the live chat on Facebook. I'm doing another little experiment with the Facebook Live feature because last time I did this, I found that it took a little while to process, and then all the stuff that happened in the live stream just uploaded as a video. So I'm going to download it from Facebook, do a little editing, and then re-upload it onto YouTube as the next question and answer video. I've got my YouTube channel right here in front of me, so I'm going to be reading questions off of it. But real quick, let me look at my subscriber count. Okay, I'm up to 128 subscribers, which is the most subscribers I've ever had on any channel attempt that I've ever done. So thank you all so very much. I really appreciate everyone that has subscribed and not unsubscribed, even after I put up some very lame stuff. So I love you all. Thank you all very much for that. And this is only the beginning. Okay, so let's get right into it. All right, let me turn this around so you can just kind of see a little bit of what I'm doing here. Okay, going back to Creator Studio, going down to organizing comments, and then hitting See All. So we're going to get a look at these comments. So I'm going to be rolling through this and choosing some of them and answering some questions. Oh, look at that! Danielle is here. I think Danielle, are you able? Oh wait, no, she's on the messenger. She can't see me live. Hold on, let me see what she's saying. Danielle is always a lot of fun. Okay, Danielle asks what kind of music I'm into, because in the video where I did a movie review of Ready Player One, I mentioned that they played "We're Not Gonna Take It" by Twisted Sister. And she's thinking, well, is that the kind of music that you're into? So, I actually prepared for this. I took both of my zip-up folders of the music that I carry in my truck. So I'm going to unzip them and show the contents to you so you can see exactly what kind of music I listen to. Now, keep in mind also that I listen to music very, very infrequently because, well, I've already heard it all. You know, that's the nature of music. It's very repetitious. The chorus are repetitious. The subject matter is repetitious. Hearing the same songs and over. I don't care for repetition, so I leave the songs alone most of the time. Most of the time, I'm listening to an audiobook. I like stories that actually progress and, you know, develop and change, and they don't just over and over do the same thing. But I will get in a mood where I'll listen to music, so allow me to show you. Here they are. These are my music folders. Yes, I still use CDs. I am a child of the 90s, so I'm not doing the MP3 thing yet. Alright, so let's go through the first folder. Let's see, we've got VeggieTales, and then Dragon Force. So you know you're a weird person when you've got a CD of VeggieTales and Dragon Force next to each other, and that is the first thing you open to when you unzip your CD folder. Blink 182. Oh, Capital Steps. These guys do some really funny political commentary, satire music. Unfortunately, it does expire, as, you know, some presidents are changed out every 4 years, so this stuff expires. Here's another. I think this is another Capital Steps here, but it's still funny. Here's, what is this, Paul Shanklin, I think? Yeah, here's another Paul Shanklin. I found out about him from a radio show. It's awesome. Okay, we got the Little Mermaid soundtrack here. What is this? Oh, another Dragon Force. I actually found like 3 Dragon Force CDs all together at a thrift store one time and bought all of them because, you know, hey, I like Metalocalypse, I like speed metal. And you can tell by the picture that these guys have on their CD that they're actually just a bunch of nerds. They're not really, you know, driving motorcycles and, you know, doing a bunch of metalhead stuff. They just like the music. We got a Chickmunks here, and this is actually music from the cartoon, not the movies. There's Bugs Bunny. Oh yeah, Mark Lowry. Some of you guys from Atlanta West are going to know who Mark Lowry is. You know, Christians love him. He is funny, and he's clean. He's got a lot of good material. Here's a couple of... Well, actually, this is a compilation of a radio morning show. Can't remember the name of them. Oh, MJ and BJ in the morning. They took like a lot of the really funny bits and just compiled them into these 2 discs, and they are funny. And they actually have a nice little skit about Y2K right at the beginning of them. So I loved that. That brings me back to the Y2K era. REM, Smash Mouths, Ray Stevens, Smash Mouths again, Linkin Park, which is actually one of my favorite bands of all time. We've got some Charlie Brown there. That's from the cartoon. What is this? I think Cold. Radiohead. There's Radiohead. What is this one? Oh, Jimmy Eat World. There's the Muppets, music from the Muppets. Alien Ant Farm? Yeah, Alien Ant Farm. Another Linkin Park. Oh, the soundtrack from the Heavy Metal movie. I love that. I have listened to this one probably a lot more than... Actually, this one and the soundtrack to the Beavis and Butthead movie, I've listened to those probably a little more than I should. I've really listened to those over and over. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's a few DVDs that I just stuck in there because I didn't have cases. Oh, another Linkin Park. Yeah, love Linkin Park. So there you go. That's just the first one. Where's the other one at? Okay, here we go. Starting on the next one. Weird Al Yankovic. I think this is actually for my first collection right here. So we got Weird Al Yankovic, more Dragon Force, soundtrack from Shark Tale, Dr. Demento, and then the soundtrack from Nightmare Before Christmas. I've got a lot of soundtracks now that I'm looking at this. More Dr. Demento. Here's the Simpsons music, which is a lot of that was composed by Danny Elfman, which has done a lot of scores for a lot of movies. More Weird Al. Soundtrack for A Knight's Tale. More Weird Al. Weird Al again here. More Weird Al right there. Monty Python Sings. And then I've got this is a time when Metallica joined up with the San Francisco Symphony and did a symphonic mixture. It was a 2-disc long thing, and I actually really love that. Here's the soundtrack to the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. Yeah, I know it's 90s music, but I love it. More Simpsons music. Here's actually some Garfield music. Ray Stevens again. Oh, this is actually children's music, but it's entitled "The Bottle Let Me Down." The CD cover for that is really funny too. Dr. Demento again. Let's see. Stan Ferber's Greatest Hits. Ferber. Got some Bill Cosby. I got these before we found out what Bill Cosby was really like. The Princess Bride soundtrack. And that does have the marriage what brings us together. That's actually like right at the end of the CD. They've got that whole spiel. Fantastic. Okay, here's some more Weird Al. This is something called filking. It's where some nerds will take like Irish folk music and put a lot of nerdy words to it. This one they're singing a lot about Dungeons and Dragons. There's the other half of the Metallica San Francisco Symphony. So, oh, and Reliant K. Let's not forget Reliant K. These guys were good. Oh, more filking right here. And the Napoleon Dynamite soundtrack. And then look at this. This is the screenplay for Little Abner, which was a comic strip that ran in the 40s and 50s. It was adapted to a musical, and then I got the soundtrack to the musical. And it's actually pretty good. Oh, and this is from Homestar Runner. This is the music from Homestar Runner. So, there you go. That's the kind of music I'm into. Sorry it took so long. Oh, and this also reminds me, Danielle has hooked me up with somebody named Kevin Nugan, and he's going to be providing me with some new background music for my vlogs. So, I've been getting my vlogs from a very public source, bensound.com, which is nice, but it also makes it where your vlogs sound very much like everybody else's vlog. Everybody gets their music from that. But thanks to Danielle and to Kevin, I am going to be getting some new music, so look forward to that. We're going to be switching that up some. Waxless Revolution says that he always wanted to visit the lighthouse in St. Augustine. Now, when I was in St. Augustine for those 2 days and I bought the trolley tour, that was really a very jam-packed 2 days. I did not have any time to go do anything that was not on the set tour. But knowing that there's something like this lighthouse and other things that I'm going to be able to go see, next year when I'm down here in Florida, I'm going to have to go see this lighthouse. So, you guys remind me of that if I don't remember. Say, Ashley, it's time for you to go to see that lighthouse. We want to see the inside of it. Go see it. Okay, this is a question on the video where me and Lo rescued the blue heron that had all the fishing line wrapped around his legs. This question is, how could you tell the bird to shut up? And that was because right after I had grabbed its beak and I was about to reach over and start untangling all this fishing line off of its legs, it starts going, ah, 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 and I go, shut up, which I guess on video that did seem a little nasty, but yeah, we got it all cut off of him, and he was able to raise his head, he was able to walk fine after that, and I'm still really hoping that after he recuperated, he's able to fly away. That was a very chilling experience. Oh, now here's a question from somebody named Listermate. You guys on Facebook will know him as Anthony Davis, and I'll be seeing him again when I go to the Old Fiddlers Convention in a couple of months. So we're going to be able to hang out with him and do some more things. But Anthony Davis asked this question: have you ever seen anything paranormal while on the road? Which is it's a great question. I did see something. It's hard for me to describe, so bear with me here. But I did see something that may have been paranormal, and this was late at night, and I can't remember where I was going, but I was heading from somewhere down Central Florida, going up to the north end of Florida, and it was late at night, and I saw something floating over the road that looked like a shiny, reflective patch just floating over the road. And then suddenly it goes, phew, and it shoots down, and it ends in an ambulance. And so it really did look like this weird, reflective, like specter that just was going and was heading into the ambulance. Now, I'm not, I do have critical thinking, and so I do know there are ways to explain this. I mean, it could have been a piece of plastic trash that light was reflecting off of that was caught in the upflow of all the traffic going by, and it just kind of got sucked down into some kind of vortex. It could have been a reflection off of a poorly lit billboard that did that. And keep in mind that the ambulance did not have its lights on. So if this was like the soul of somebody that they had just revived going back into its body, it would be odd for them to be doing that with no lights on. So I don't know if it was really a paranormal thing, but it does really stick in my mind as something, and I'm not seeing this all the time. This is, with all the miles that I drive, I don't see a lot of shiny reflective things over the road that go shoo, and go down into vehicles. That's not something I see all the time. So this does stick in my mind. And I wish I knew what exactly had happened there, but I'm never really going to know fully. But that was definitely an experience there. Okay, for some reason somebody's asking me, who is my favorite Muppet? Who is my favorite Muppet? This is going to seem wrong, but I'm going to have to say it's Kermit. Kermit is just a good character. He's a leader, but he's not a bossy leader. He's a leader that everybody just gravitates to him because he's like just somebody that you want to listen to. And his character has always been that way. That's the kind of person I would like to be more like. And I know he's their flagship character. But I've always really liked Kermit. So I'm going to have to say Favorite Muppet is Kermit. Oh, somebody else asked me, is there any kind of food that I will not eat? Not eat. Okay, and this is because it's a running theme on my vlog that every episode I've got to find something that is out of the norm and eat it. And that's usually some exotic food, something that's been imported overseas, some experimental thing that some food truck is doing, or just something that I've cooked up myself. But every episode, just about every episode, I haven't gone back and looked at every one, but just about every episode, I'm eating something weird. This past one, I ate a licorice candy from Spain that had a tapioca center, and then later in the episode, I ate buffalo gator tail and zucchini fries. So, that was the last one. Okay, so, is there anything that I would not eat? And I am a very adventurous eater. That's just the way I see food. I don't see oh, I didn't have this before I was 8 years old. It's not chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese, so therefore it's gross. Or this is an animal that we don't normally eat. This is sheep. Or this is goat. Or this is frog. And that's not one of the 5 main that we always eat in America. We always eat turkey, beef, chicken, and fish. And ham. 5 things. Very limiting ourselves on our meat, let's just be honest. But it's not the main 5, so therefore it is gross. No, I'm not of that opinion. I'm adventurous. I see food as just another way to go out and experience life and experience other cultures. As far as, is there a food that I would not eat? I do not like it when good, sweet, crispy vegetables are cooked to the point of being mushy and slimy. I feel that it adds more work, and it makes it taste worse than it was before, and it's kind of ruining a good vegetable. So, I do not like a vegetable stew, for example. Big chunks of potatoes floating in a bunch of tomato and cut up chunks of celery and that slimy okra, floating in it. No. Just leave your vegetables raw. Put a little balsamic over them and eat them that way. You're going to get more vegetables. They're going to be sweeter. They're going to be better anyway. Just don't make vegetable soup. Don't make pot roast out of them where you stick a perfectly good piece of meat in there and then you take all your vegetables and just stuff it, like your carrots and everything, and just stuff it in around there, and then everything is mushy and kind of like all blends in with the taste of the meat. Don't care for that. I don't like anything that is like overpoweringly spicy. I am still American, right? So I don't like anything that is like so hot that you can't enjoy it anymore. It's more pain than it is flavor. That's my genetics. I am not accustomed to that. I'm not going to. I'll take a little heat. I like a little cayenne pepper sprinkled on stuff, a little Louisiana hot sauce, but not going to do the pain. But there was one time when I found something at an Asian market that was like supposedly something that was commonly eaten. I tried to eat it, and it was something that actually kind of made me almost throw up. I was retching. Well, actually, it's happened a couple of times. One was something they called the 1,000-year egg, or the black egg, which is definitely something you're going to have an acquired taste for. I cannot eat those things. And the other one was called a Buddha's hand. And it looks like an orange. It has the same texture, smell as an orange, but instead of being round, it's shaped like a hand. And because of that, it's got a lot more surface area, so it's more about the things you can make with orange peel. You've heard of orange peel cake and things like that. This is really good for making those things with, but I decided to make a smoothie with it. So I smoothied it up as best I could in a really high-powered blender. It was like a Vitamix or something, and tried to drink it, and I literally almost threw up. The Buddha's hand, I can't do. And so, there you go. As far as food, is there any kind of food I will not eat? Okay, I had somebody here, this was right after the video that I did with Lo, where she got her birthday pie in the face. Somebody put in a request for more pies. I don't know if this is a request I'm actually going to be able to meet. Now that video itself has gotten like 800 views, so it's definitely one of my more viewed videos, but we're not going to overdo it on the pies. I might actually cook some pies at some point in one of my cooking videos, but no, we're not going to do any more pies. Okay, the video that I did where I went over 12 things that I will no longer apologize for, the very last one was this idea that if people only pick on you if they like you. And I was saying that makes no sense to me. It never has. It never will. To me, that's like saying that the people that hate to see others in pain are the ones that are walking around punching people in the stomach. I don't know if I should try to clarify this more, but the comment was, I agree that people shouldn't demean or degrade anyone just for their own enjoyment or power. That's a wonderful quality for you to have. I know that isn't right. However, I do believe that a huge difference between picking on and picking on. Picking on is done to demean or degrade an individual. Picking with is to be candid and playful, and can cause things like inside jokes and or pet names. So I understand that after seeing that video, some people might be under the impression that I'm just a super sensitive person and I can't take a little teasing from my friends. I can take that. I do understand the need for close friends to do a little picking, a little razzing, a little teasing each other, as long as it's a good-hearted thing. And but what I can't take is when somebody doesn't know me yet, they just met me, and they think it's okay to go ahead and start teasing me. Teasing is something that you have to earn. I have to be around you for a little while. I have to get a vibe from you that you actually care about me before I'll let you start teasing me. So there's that. Teasing is okay, but it has to be earned. You have to earn that right. You can't just, oh, I just met you, now I'm going to start teasing you about your clothes, I'm going to start teasing you about your looks, I'm going to start, getting on to you because you pronounced a word wrong, or you said that it was a different day than it actually was. I'm going to start calling you stupid, and I just met you 10 minutes ago. Doesn't work like that. You have to know me for a little while, and I have to know that you care about me, and then you can tease me a little bit. Not before. Okay, here's one right here. And this is about when I was doing some reviews on the audiobooks, because I listen to audiobooks on my drives all the time. And I told you guys that I was going to either listen to The Starter Wife or Dakota. I've got them right here. This one's Dakota by Martha Grimes. And then I had The Starter Wife. And the one that you guys picked was this one. Y'all wanted me to listen to this one and then give you my thoughts on it. Well, I've made it about halfway through this book, and I can't finish it. I'm sorry, guys. I cannot finish it. This is terrible. This book, it started off good. The first couple of discs were good. It set up the character. This was a character coming into town with amnesia, but she did have some good qualities about her. She ended up making friends with a store owner. She came on to a farm as a worker. She rescued a donkey that had been mistreated and was tied out in the open to a barbed wire fence, and she rescued it. Everything was seeming fine, and then she got a job in a pork farm, a farm where they raise pigs. And it was like, from that point on, there was these long paragraphs describing the blood and torture and torment of the pigs. And it was like she kept stealing company property to rescue a few pigs that were overlooked or had their foot stuck in the grate or something like that. She wanted to nurse them back. She would put them in the back of a truck and go run them back to her farm, and then come back and and the thing about this too is that in a high production plant like a pork farm or pork production, you have to work hard. But according to this, she was just kind of standing around talking to people most of the time and just observing stuff and just kind of slowly walking around. She ended up doing a pork delivery with someone, and she was just a ride-along and somehow got paid for it. And so it is totally unrealistic. If somebody was working at a plant and really just kind of lazing around and not doing any work at all, they'd be fired on the first day. And this became more of just an animal rights thing. And regardless of what you feel about animal rights, and I know it's a terrible thing, and there are a lot of animals that are mistreated in these plants. I'm not advocating for that. Don't get me wrong. What I'm advocating for is making a novel, making something interesting that people can listen to for long periods of time and get some entertainment out of it. And animal rights and describing bloody torture of pigs, disc after disc, does not a novel make. Does not a novel make at all. It got terrible. I'm halfway through this now, guys. I can't finish it. I'm sorry. I'm done. I can't do it. I'm sorry. So this one is the one that he ended up switching to. This one is The Starter Wife by Gigi Grazer. This one actually turned out to be really good. This one, it starts off the way that you would believe it does because of the name. It's about a Hollywood wife that gets most of her notoriety because of who her husband is. He's a big movie producer, and at the beginning of the story, he decides to divorce her, get rid of her, but right before the 10-year mark, because you have a lot more rights to alimony and to things like that after the 10-year mark. So it was like 6 months before the 10-year mark, and he actually calls her and tells her, "I want a divorce." And so for the first half of the book, it's kind of exploring their dating life, how she met him, how he gave her the impressions that he was a good guy, and how she went from being her own person to being the wife of blah blah blah. And coming to grips with that. And the first part was, I felt like, at least a little bit, a good commentary on that kind of lifestyle. And I kind of liked that. But then the second half of this book, it was like it was written by a totally another person. Another person altogether. It was like, it turned into like a cartoon version of a Harlequin romance. That's the best way to describe it. It was like every character in the second half. Now, the first half kind of does the whole not going chronological thing, just where it was going from a flashback to present day to smash cut to back to flashback. And as right about the time that got old and frustrating, it finally switched to going linear. And at that point, that's when it started getting funny. And it's like it got funnier and funnier, and the characters started acting more and more exaggerated until it crescendoed into a very entertaining end. So I actually highly recommend this one. This one is entertaining as all get out. And as much as you believe that you know what the patterns of a Harlequin romance novel are, this one kind of breaks those molds a little bit. It still has basically the same kind of things that you're used to, but it breaks it up a little bit. And it's exaggerated, it's funny, it's entertaining. Highly recommend this one. The Starter Wife. It's really good. Okay. Now, Anthony Davis also mentioned that if I was to get some audiobooks of Star Trek, then those are really good because a lot of times I'll have some of the actors narrating the story, and they even put in some sound effects. And I've always loved the Star Trek audiobooks for that reason. And it was funny that on the same day that Anthony left me that comment, I was in a thrift store and picked up this here. And then, like a couple days later, I found this one. And so I've had fun with this. Thank you, Anthony, for, I don't know, having a ESP on what I was going to find next. But these were great. Okay, so the next audiobooks that I'm going to listen to and give some commentary on, I found a couple of new Mary Higgins Clark murder mysteries, and as much as I've complained about murder mysteries in the past, Mary Higgins Clark has proven herself to be a good storyteller, even in the overused genre of murder mystery. And so has Sue Grafton. So this is one of her series that I don't have and I haven't listened to, so I'm going to be listening to this one too. So next time I do a review on these audiobooks, I'm going to try to listen to all three of those murder mysteries, and I'll give you my thoughts on which ones were good and for what reasons. So there we go. So that's it for the question and answer session. Something I wanted to mention on this video is that this is actually not my first YouTube channel. This is channel number 4. Yes, number 4. The first one was Shark Fin Sighted, all is one word. And when I looked at that, it's still on YouTube, but when I looked at that, I put my first video up 11 years ago. And right now it's sitting at 33,000 views. It's a video of me and a cousin going fishing in the Okefenokee Swamp and having an alligator jump out of the water to try to get a fish that we had on a stringer. And instead of fighting the alligator over it, I took the stringer off, threw the fish to the alligator, and he ate it right there. This was so long ago that that video was taken on an 8mm camera, the kind that we kind of like held it like this. It had a little viewfinder screen on the back, but I had to plug it into like a Voodoo analog to digital converter, and then do the video editing and then upload it from there. That's how long ago it was. It was 11 years ago. Did a bunch on that channel. Then I did another channel called Donnie Maddox, and it was spelled Maddox, M-O-D-D-O-X. Yeah, Maddox, M-O-D-D-O-X. Donnie Maddox. That was a character that I was trying to develop, and that one got about 95 subscribers. There's a few videos on there that got a few hundred views, and I'm going to go back and look up some of those videos and re-upload them here, but you guys are welcome to go look at that too. And then my third one was one called Video Journal Anyway, and that was when I was working in Mississippi, and those were really bad vlogs. They were, I mean, at the time I was just working in construction and coming home, sleeping, and going back to work, so I didn't have a whole lot of material to work with. I tried doing like some stuff from the supermarkets around there and a few little walking trails around, and I even went to a rodeo at one point. I tried to make it interesting, but I did not have access to internet. Every time I needed to upload, I had to drive into town and find Wi-Fi somewhere and sit in front of a store, because they all closed up at like 6 o'clock after I got out of work anyway. That was terrible. But here we go. Three failed channels. This is channel number 4. So, doing YouTube videos is something that I have I've tried and failed and retried and failed a bunch of times. And the thing that held me back on those other channels was just the restriction of the technology at the time. As like I said, when I first started, I was taking all the videos with an 8mm camera, and then later it was with a digital camera, and I would have to take the digital videos, transfer them to a laptop, do the video editing, find a source for the internet, upload it from there. It was a lot of processing. But now I can take the videos on my phone, edit them on my phone, and upload them all from my phone, all from one device, which makes things a lot more manageable. So I can put stuff out a lot faster, a lot easier. Like the last video that I did ended on Sunday. It was a 3-day video. It ended on Sunday, and I had the video edited and up by Sunday night. And that was because I would like come into the festival and take some videos as I'm going in. And then after I was set up and I was waiting on my first customer, I'd go ahead and start the editing. And as I'm taking the videos, I'm importing them into the editing software, and I'm editing it as I go. And so at the very end of Sunday night, I had to take another 10-20 minutes to finish up the vlog, add a little music to the background, and then upload it. So I was able to upload it just a few minutes after it ended with the editing, music, and all. And that's just the streamlining that I've been able to get on my videos now. So it's not actually taking any extra time out of my work to do this, and so why not do it? I'm going to keep doing it. Even if there's not a whole lot of people watching, this is a fun activity. It's a way for me to journal and be able to look back at what I've done over the past few years, and so it's just I'm going to keep producing it and putting it up. So you guys, you're welcome to come along for the ride. Anybody that's out there, you're all welcome to come along for the ride. I really enjoy YouTube. I enjoy all this. This is a way for me to not feel quite so alone when I'm out on the road. I don't have anybody out here really with me all the time to share my life with, so I'm sharing it with you guys. So it's keeping me from feeling too awful alone, and I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for this kind of platform and this opportunity and the new technology that we've got now. So I love you all, and that is going to be it for this live stream. Thank you to everybody that actually sat through all this. I will see you again in the next one.